This time I have an old Panasonic CRT. This thing's got to be 30 plus years old. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get parts for this one or not, but we'll see whether I can get parts and whether we can get this one to work. These are becoming kind of a rarity these days. Let's check it out. Oh dear. No vertical. Ow. I will admit it's been a long time since I've worked on one of these sets, and I don't even know what model this is because someone has ripped the model number and serial number off the back of it. So until I get the back off, I won't even know which chassis this one is. But it's been a long time since I've worked on one of these, probably, well, at least 20 years, maybe longer, since I've worked on one of these sets. So in the television, we've got several different circuits. Our power supply is on this board over here, and this is the video board, and the tuner board is over here. Inputs are here, our horizontal output is over here, and our vertical output is right in on this IC here, which you guys can't see because the CRT socket is blocking it. If I slide out the chassis, I can remember how to do this. It should just slide straight out. Actually, I hate these chassis because this plastic is so brittle that if so much as breathe on it, it's going to break. And there should not be any releases. It should just lift right out the chassis. Okay. All right, I'm going to push the TV a little bit further back so that I have some room to work. Alright, now I got the chassis here. I'm going to undo some of these wires, and if my head's in the way, too bad, because the camera won't come forward anymore and where it is, unless I put it on a separate tripod. Alright, vertical circuit is right down here, which you still can't see. You can see the heatsink for it there. First thing to do is to make sure that the solder's not cracked on the IC. The IC itself might be blown. If that's the case, we may have a problem, because I have no source for parts for a set this age anymore. The shops that carried all the parts are long gone, and I don't know where to even begin to look to get them. I'm hoping it's going to be something more mundane, like a resistor open or a diode that's bad, and not the actual IC or a connection that's gone bad. Usually what happens on these is capacitors go bad in the vertical bootstrap down in here, and they cause the IC to overheat, and the telltale is you get a line at the top or the bottom of the picture initially, and then eventually it overheats the IC and the IC goes poof. And I do have some vertical ICs old stock in here, at the shop here. I do have a few from back in the day, but I don't know whether I'm going to have the one that this has if that IC is in fact blown, which I won't know until I do some tests. It's going to disconnect the CRT socket just to protect it so that I don't bump anything. We'll take off that wire there just so that I can put this out of the way and flip the chassis up like that so I can get a better look at what's going on the bottom here and see whether there's any cracked connections down here that are obvious, or any shorted diodes in the vertical supply, because they get the power comes off the flyback for the vertical on most of these sets. So I'm just going to do a little close inspection here and take a close look and see if I can see anything that is obvious. I do see something that is blatantly obvious right now. It's probably winking right at you there. Third pin up from the bottom on IC 451, right there, that solder connection is completely cracked. So first things first, we're going to resolder the vertical output IC and see whether that restores the vertical output. Fingers crossed, that's as far as the damage has gotten on this one, and we'll dodge a bullet to get this set going, because if the IC itself is popped, then we may have a bit of an issue trying to find one. If you notice something looking a little bit different about the lighting in here, I have my bright big 400 watt HMI metal halide light going. You can probably hear it humming in the background. Again, no apologies for the hum. It's a magnetic ballast. It's not that loud, but I know the camera microphone tends to pick it up. No apologies for it. because I need the light to see what I'm doing, and that is the best one I have in here, especially when I'm working on the bigger bench, because all my other lighting is over the small bench. So I don't normally turn this one on if I'm working on the small bench, but when I'm working on the bigger bench here, then I generally turn this one on just because it's right overhead and it lets me see things that I might otherwise miss with the other lighting. So I'm just going to warm up the iron. We'll touch this up and see whether that fixes the problem. Oops. That's a kind of a problem, isn't it? Not anymore, it isn't. Okay, now that one is resoldered. It's time to reconnect the tube socket and plug the set in and see whether I get deflection. And I should just take a few resistors in here as well, just to make sure that there's no open fusible resistors, because if that IC shorted, it will have taken out one of the fusible resistors. So let's do a few quick checks in here and make sure that I've got continuity. Watch that tube, bump it with my head, break the tube. Wouldn't that be something? You hear a big psh, and then I'd be going, ah, shit. That's one thing I can say that I never did when I was in the business, was I never broke a picture tube. I couldn't say that for the guys that I work with. A few of them got broken, one by the owner himself. I got a good laugh out of that, because he had to buy the customer a new TV. And he wasn't happy. If I had broken one, it would have made me buy him a new TV. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. The dick that I work for, the prick that I work for, when I was picking a TV up out of a customer's van, the guy had a dog in the van. And as I picked the TV up, the dog lurched at me and grabbed my arm, and I dropped the TV and I broke the cabinet. And it was a Sony Trinitron 21-inch. Smashed the cabinet, like cracked it, the bezel and everything. And the owner of the shop, my boss, made me buy him a new TV, and I got to take the broken one home. I've still got it. I've still got that set. In fact, it used to be the one that was in my shop here as a test set. I've still got it, 21-inch. Still works. Cabinet's still broken. And turn this thing on and see whether I've got any good news to share with you guys or not. And I don't have good news. I have no vertical still, so we have more problems than just that connection. Probably the IC has popped, unfortunately, but that's likely what's wrong. Okay, I've got the set turned on now. I've got the CRT disconnected. I'm going to check some voltages here in the vertical circuit and see if I've got any voltages. A meter around here where I can actually see it. And the set is on now, so there is high voltage in here. I'm just looking to see if I've got any voltage getting to the IC itself. 0.7. I should have like a 24 volt supply in here, which I don't. Looks like no supply. So there might be a resistor open somewhere back here in this supply. Should have B plus here. Oh, okay, why don't I have B plus? This might make sure this white lead isn't That's good. So I got ground. Oh, still might help if I put my meter on DC volts. Okay. Where is my voltage? Coming in from the power supply. 11 volts. So we know that part works. Alright, let's go back and check this again over here. See, negative 0.1, 0.6. I got no power getting over to the vertical IC. The diode here, we should have power on here, and then we have 30 volts here. That's the feed for the vertical. Why am I not getting anything over here? This is when a schematic would come in real handy. Hmm. 30-volt supply. Where does it go? It comes down here somewhere. $140, $141. That's my B plus supply. Stay away from this area because that's where all the high voltage is. I'm not getting any supply over here to this IC. I should have 30 volts or 24 volts over here. And I got nothing. I got 1 volt on that line. 0.6. The IC itself might be shorted too. I want to take it out of resistor more than likely. I'm just going to pull the power off here and do some checking. Watch that voltage drop down to nothing. Okay, I know what the problem is. It is the IC that shot. There's a hole burned in it. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera or not. I'll pull the IC. It is the vertical output IC. I'll pull the IC so you can see it because I got to get the number off it anyway. I doubt that I've got one. I don't know where to find one, but let's pull the IC out so that we've got the part out of here and I can show it to you and give you a close-up of it. There's our fault right there. LA7845, and you can see where the magic smoke came out. That pin let go, got real hot, something shorted inside here, blew this IC up. I'm going to take a look and see whether I've got one. I seriously doubt that I've got an LA7845, but I'm going to go look through my old stock of old ICs and see whether I've got anything that is the same. Otherwise, we might be waiting a while to try to get an IC for this. Unless somebody magically watching this has one and wants to send me one. Because I got a lot of guys that watch that were in the biz. If someone's got one of these, can send me the IC, that would be great. But I'm going to go see what I can find. Because I know all the local places, they don't carry this type of stuff anymore. And to bring one in from a place like DigiKey or anything would be just cost prohibitive. You know, just to get the part here would probably cost me $100. And I'm dead serious. Because there'd be broker fees and taxes and shipping out of US, and it's crazy to try to order a part. I ordered a $15 transformer years ago, and by the time it got here it was over $100. That's how stupid it is to try to get parts out of the States into Canada. This is what I have. Let's just see what I've got in here. Okay, those are LA7836s, so obviously they're not the same because I need an LA7845. What is in this bag of goodies? These are all that I have. And I've had these for, probably 25 years. From when I repaired stuff, and I used to do stuff at home as well. AN5521, that was another real common part that Panasonic used. You can see it's got 2 screw holes in it, so it's not going to be that one. This one's another AN5515. It's got AN5515, AN5521. What is this one? LA7832. This one's an LA7845. They look the same, but they're not going to be the same. And this other one I've got this is also another one, LA7835. So unfortunately, I don't have the part to fix this set. Unless I can source the part for this one here is just going to go back together, and I'm not going to be able to do anything more. I'll leave the part out because there's no point in putting it back in, but I will put the screw back in, so that the screw in the nut, so that it doesn't get lost. We know what this set needs, and until I can locate a part, this one is going to have to be put on ice. If a part does become available, we'll pick this one up and do a video fixing it. I got a couple of cameras from them as well to take a look at. I'll do a quick search before I put this back together and just see whether anything comes up when I search this out. We'll see whether what they're worth, if they're available. So I went to my favorite parts place in Surrey online and just checked the part. And he has the part in stock, which is good news. So I've ordered the part. It should be here next week, I would think. I'm just going to put the screw back and just tape it down here so that it doesn't get lost, so I don't have to bother putting it back into the chassis. And I'm going to throw the back on the set because I don't want anything to get broken while we're waiting for the part, and then the TV can just sit here for the next little while the part is en route, and we'll pick this up again once the part arrives. So for now, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and we'll pick this up next week once the part comes in and we can get this one going. Catch you in the next one. Bye.